This is new. Oh my gosh. Alrighty then, let's begin. I want you guys to close your eyes and listen. Really, really listen to the poem I'm about to share, because I want you to hear it. Okay, ready? Close your eyes until I tell you otherwise. Okay. You are the blood in my veins and the beating of my heart. You are my first waking thought and my last sigh before sleeping. You are the bone of my bone and the breath of my breath. You can open your eyes now. Beautiful, right? Yeah. That poem was written by Juliette Marelier. I learned of it for the first time when it was texted to me one morning by the man in my life, along with the words, "That is how I feel about you." My heart stopped. It stopped. I felt like I had just won lotto. You see, I never expected to meet this man, and nor was I looking for him. We came to be as a result of two pivotal moments in my life. The first, 11 months ago, and the second, 16 years. I'll begin with the latter. When I was 35 years old, I lost my husband to cancer. I became a widow. I was left with 4 little kids to raise, the oldest being 9. 2 failing businesses to turn around or bury alongside him. A huge hole in my heart and a new future to find. And those were the imminent challenges. The gifts? It's the first time ever I'd meet me, the woman you see before you today. I also became keenly aware of how short life could be. That combination released the inner kamikaze pilot in me. No joke. I began to live voraciously, without any fear. And I'd meet, and then I'd exceed all of my challenges. I'd go on to own a number of businesses, write several books, create an award-winning children's television series, launch a celebrity blog, become a licensed foster parent, and raise now 5 kids to be surgeons, scientists, actors, and athletes. And I travel the world. And what's interesting is throughout all this crazy and busy, never once did I lack for suitors. Not once. These men would commonly say to me, "You're different. You're different." And I'd respond back to them in my head, of course, "I know. 5 little kids depend upon that fact every day." Not cocky, just truth. It's this disposition that would find me on a solo vacation in Amsterdam last April, a trip I would unexpectedly turn into a popular dating book a few months later. Frankly, I just needed a break. I wanted to eat mayonnaise and French fries by a canal. I wanted to view some great art, and I wanted to visit the tulip gardens in season because I happen to love tulips. That spelled Amsterdam to me, so I hopped a plane and I took off. And while I was there one evening, I decided to have dinner outside the hotel at a local pub, a place I passed by earlier in the day. So I picked up my Nook, left the room, sauntered down the street, found the pub, walked inside, and took a table next to the bar. And just as I opened my Nook up to read, I became distracted by two women seated at the bar having a very excited conversation. One was telling the other about an extremely bad date she had had recently. And the question became whether or not she should see this man again, despite how horrendously he had treated her. Now, frankly, I knew the answer to that, and I wasn't even on the date, okay? But she didn't, which was really, really concerning. So as I continued to eavesdrop, three things happened. My ears began to bleed at what I was hearing. My eyes rolled to the back of my head, and I laughed out loud. None of it nice, I know. It was unintentional, and at least I'm honest about it. That reaction caused these two women to turn towards me and draw me into their conversation. And what they got from me over the next hour were needed lessons. Lessons in self-respect. Lessons in valuing yourself as a human being and as a woman. Lessons in holding your standards high in dating, in life, but also in dating. Lessons too many women today need, despite the progressive age we live in. They either need them or they need to understand them, because in doing so, it makes all the difference in the world. What did I get in return? I got gratitude, new friendships, and the suggestion that I write a needed dating book, something I had no intention or interest of doing, mind you, despite how complimented I felt. Fast forward a week later, the idea haunted me. It haunted me, to the point that before I knew it, I had a signed publisher, a 5-week writing deadline, and a 6-month release date, Valentine's Day of all days. None of which was a problem because the book basically wrote itself. Now here's the irony and the humor in the story. During the editing phase of that book, I asked a very close, dear friend of mine if she could give the book a quick review, quick top to tail, and she agreed, as any good friend would, right? But her schedule became incredibly busy, and so she passed the task, unbeknownst to me, along to a gentleman friend of hers, also single, also dating, also having a tough time of it. She really thought the book might help him find his way. And she was right. It did. All the way to me. The rest is history, folks. You ever hear the phrase, it'll happen when you least expect it? You ever hear that phrase? What that really, really means is you need to meet you first and make your life and happiness the priority before you can ever expect to open the door to the right dud. I mean, really, dude. I mean the perfect man for you. The one that will send you poetry and will find it in his heart to forgive you when you publicly share such an intimate moment between you two, purely to help others through a talk like this. Say that 10 times fast. No, you really, really need to know who you are before you can ever know who you need. Unfortunately, too many single women and especially too many single older women, get this backwards. They seem to think that you need to meet the man first, for validation, to truly begin to live. That thinking is the kiss of death to their love lives and usually results in a ton of waiting, very little living, and even more regret. So I urge you not to be one of these women. And if you are one, stop it. Just stop it. Switch your thinking so that proverbial door I mentioned earlier in my talk doesn't become more of a barrier to all that you are, want, and deserve. That's not poetry, my friends. That's a tragedy, encompassed by one single phrase, not romantic by any means, but keenly accurate. I'll never know. Thank you.